I want to talk about something that I've been exposed to that's called dark triad personalities. This is something that I've been thinking about for, a little bit of time, and I'm like looking into it in different ways and perspectives, different ways of viewing these things. But these personalities are in a lot of us, whether they're expressed or, suppressed or, expressed in different ways. We should understand what these are. A lot of people are narcissistic, but they may have overcame it, right? These traits can be overcome, whether you overcame it, your parents overcame it, it's a lifetime type of thing, last lifetime, or your parents, your great grandparents overcame it. These are natural personalities. A lot of children have these personality traits, and they are corrected when they're in their upbringing. They're corrected. A lot of people, especially children, have narcissistic. They're very physical. Like they will harm you physically. Okay, children. I read a study as well that was talking about how 2-year-olds are the most violent beings on earth, and it was interesting. I'm like, well, that actually makes sense. But so dark triad personalities are narcissistic, Machiavellian, and psychopathic, right? These personalities can be in you as a youngin', but because like even narcissistic, being like, oh, you're better than and I am, and or even certain traits like you don't want to share and you feel like this is yours, and you don't, you're just fuck you, what you got to go, I'm gonna push you down, and just bullying type energies. These energies are natural energies, but through our through society and through our upbringing and our the people around us and our parents and our family, they're corrected at a young age. Certain people that are adults and they still have narcissistic personalities that are heavy, that are not controlled, that are kind of delusional, that has this real misplaced sense of self. These are just natural personalities that have not been corrected. This is just my ideology on it. I know somebody else will say, you know what, I study this. The people that have narcissistic personality, they always gonna have it, and they're just they're just different, and they're just bad people. My ideology and the way that I look at life, anything can be overcome, anything can be changed if you really want to, and it takes work, and it's not always easy to do the inner works to overcome these certain personalities. But I look at even the people that's in domestic violent people, people that are murderers, stealers, robbing you and hurting you, killing you, don't give a fuck. Those people took on this characteristic for a certain reason. A lot of people in domestic violence situations, this is their coping mechanism to a situation, whether it's an unhealthy way of love, wanting to control them. I'm looking at the psychology of the things and with a compassionate heart, right? So if you want to overcome these things can be overcome, but it takes a lot of inner works, right? And it takes desire and drive to overcome these things. And if you would see different people, because a lot of people are like, no, if they're like this, that's who they are. Like, they're nothing else. They're like that. Throw them away, lock them up, throw away key. But if you talk to certain people, there are certain people that has overcame, and they'll say it themselves. Not like, oh, you go ask somebody else, they'll say, and it's okay, because sometimes you need somebody else, because they could be, people could be lying. But if you even do a poll or do a study of how many people like, yeah, I used to do that. I've heard this, people that changed their life around. I used to rob and steal, and I ain't give a fuck about the person. I just heard somebody the other day talking about, if I used to do this, if I saw somebody, wearing something or having something that I want, I would take it from them. And I don't give a fuck how I take it from them. You know what I'm saying? If I push them down, if I have to kidnap a kid, whatever, you know what I'm saying? There's certain things that people will do in their low vibrational energy, and that can be overcame. There's certain people like, yeah, I used to do that shit. Like, I used to talk to people in a very unhealthy way. My mouth can hurt somebody, you know what I'm saying? So there's different things, and if you really want to change, you can change. So I don't throw away people. I might distance myself. I honor myself at all times, and I know I got shit to do, so I'm not about to sit there and exchange excessive amount of energy with people that's not trying to raise their vibration. Plus, I'd rather even just exchange energy with people that have a higher vibration, and I'd rather just speak my truth, and hopefully it can help somebody. But if anybody needs help with programming their mind and just keeping a better perspective on life, and if they really need help, like I can see energy, so I see when people just like really just want to combat or debate and all this type of stuff. And plus, I'm never gonna be the one to heal you. No, if anybody talk about they're a healer and they're here to heal people, they're lying. Look, the only person you need to heal is yourself. Okay, so when the people talk about I'm a healer, I can heal you, tell them to heal themselves, because that mindset shows that you got some work to do. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm thinking about all I can do is just spark your mind for you to do the inner work. You know, all I can do is, you know, give perspective from a different way of looking at stuff. And then, you know, but you have to have that desire, you know, that burning desire in your heart to say, I want to be better. Like, I want to do better. Like, I want better for my life. Because trust me, if you're out here robbing, stealing, killing, hurting people, you are not happy within. You got some issues within. So a lot of people like, oh, this is the victimizer and they're just getting away with it. Trust me, they're not getting away with shit. You don't get away with anything. It may look like that because one person is feel like a victim or whatever. And let me say this. A true victim is one that is forced. I don't, you know, I feel like being a victim sometimes can be an unhealthy way of looking at life. You know, it's sometimes that has to do with mental health issues as well as everything else I've just explained. Like, victims and victimizers both have issues, okay? And I know people, and not true victims. True victims are ones that are forced to do some things. But I've been seeing lately a lot of people are victims of mental, you know, things. But it all starts with you. You have the mind. You can utilize your mind. So I understand if you haven't been taught and you've been susceptible to influences and stuff like that. But only way for you to overcome that, only way for you to become the victor and not the victim, is for you to take accountability and for you to honor yourself and for you to do the inner works to say, you know what, I'm not gonna let that hold me down. You know what, I did this, I accepted that. You know what I'm saying? These type of things, these type of sayings or accountability words will really help you to take your power back and be powerful. Other than that, victims are powerless. You know, the victims are powerless. So I would like for people to stop taking energy away from true victims that truly been forced against their will to do things, and not to mention a lot of people that want to claim they're victims. They're manipulatives too. They don't take accountability for the reason why they're in the situation. Like, a lot of people like, oh, you're with a man that beat on you and this is who he is. No, what did you like about that man? You know, what kept you there? What was so more important to you about this energy exchange, about this person, that made you dishonor yourself? Let's take accountability. You know what I'm saying? Like, so anyways, if you want to become better, you can. I don't care what you went through. I don't care what you done. You can become better. Some people may have to be that in jail. Some people, you know what I'm saying? Like, they probably had issues. Come on now, is you gonna let me go or not? Some people, you know, have to do it in fucked up circumstances. But you know what? You get yourself where you get yourself. You know what I'm saying? So if you have to do it in isolation, in jail, wherever you're at, you can overcome. You can make a decision within yourself to be better. And once you make that decision, you will then attract solutions to you. So inner works has to be done. And then you'll start attracting the solutions. You'll attract the answers, whether it comes from your mind or somebody else's perspective. I just wanted to shine light on that. Peace.